Welcome to episode 529 of AI Brief. Today we are jumping into a deep dive on some massive structural shifts happening across the tech landscape.
Hello, everyone. So glad you're tuning in for this one.
We have a packed board today. We are unpacking SpaceX pivoting into an AI compute landlord with a massive deal from Google. We'll look at the latest robotics moves from NVIDIA and Sam Altman. We're also digging into new MIT data that challenges the fundamental promise of robotaxis. And finally, a roundup of today's top trending AI tools for your daily productivity.
And if you look at all of these together, there's a very clear theme. Hardware and physical AI are rapidly overtaking software in the race for compute and capability. Intelligence is bleeding out of our digital screens and embedding itself into the physical world.
That is spot on. But taking intelligence from a purely digital state and putting it into physical action requires an unimaginable scale of computing power. You need highly specialized, densely packed infrastructure. And that brings us directly to our first major update today.
Let's get into it.
So look at what is happening with SpaceX and Google. SpaceX is no longer just selling rockets or providing broadband. With this new multi-year agreement, they're pushing straight into the AI infrastructure wars.
Which is, it's the brutally expensive physical layer where the next major technological race will actually be won.
Absolutely. And the financial details here give you a sense of the sheer scale. Google is committing to pay SpaceX roughly $920 million per month.
Wait, per month?
Per month. That payment schedule runs continuously from October 2026 through June 2029, purely for raw compute capacity. It covers about 110,000 NVIDIA GPUs, plus all the CPUs, memory, and infrastructure to keep a cluster of that magnitude operational.
That is an unbelievable amount of hardware to consolidate in one place.
It really is. Now, there's a reduced fee ramp-up period before that October deadline, but the delivery timeline is incredibly strict. If SpaceX misses the committed September 30, 2026 deadline, Google actually retains the right to terminate the agreement completely after a short grace period.
A grace period makes sense for silicon supply chains because, manufacturing delays happen. But that termination clause shows you how high the stakes are. Google is completely compute constrained right now.
Which is wild to think about. Google practically invented the modern data center.
They did. But whoever controls dense GPU infrastructure holds all the leverage on the frontier of AI right now. The requirements for these frontier models have completely outpaced traditional data center designs. It comes down to density.
Meaning they have to be physically close together.
Precisely. When you train the spatial awareness engine of an autonomous system, the model processes millions of physical variables simultaneously. If the chips are in different states, the microscopic delay over fiber optics, the latency, literally breaks the training run.
I see. So it's about having them physically wired together in the exact same room.
It is. And building a dense cluster of 110,000 GPUs requires massive land acquisition, municipal power approvals, and advanced liquid cooling, so the hardware does not literally melt. Those projects take years.
So by stepping in to supply this immediately, SpaceX is acting as a strategic bottleneck. They're basically functioning as a high-tech digital landlord.
That is the perfect way to look at it.
They are leasing out the most valuable real estate in the tech world. And all of this financial maneuvering lands exactly as SpaceX prepares for a highly anticipated United States IPO. Locking in nearly $1 billion a month in guaranteed recurring revenue entirely changes their valuation.
It definitely shifts the entire industry's power dynamics.
And speaking of what those massive GPU clusters are actually training, a huge portion of that processing power is directed toward the physical world. Let's shift gears to everything else in AI today. I'll hand it over to you for the daily roundup.
Sounds good. We are seeing incredible momentum on the hardware side. NVIDIA is making a very aggressive push into humanoid robotics right now. They just unveiled the Isaac GR00T reference humanoid robot.
Oh, wow. So an actual physical reference model?
Yes, an open platform, research-grade robot. It pairs a physical body made by Unitree, specifically their H2 model, with a powerful onboard Blackwell GPU. The strategy is to give universities a unified platform.
Because historically, labs had to build the robot from scratch before they could even program it, correct?
That hardware friction stalled so much progress. NVIDIA is providing a standardized design, and that onboard Blackwell GPU is critical because it processes complex visual and spatial data simultaneously, in real time, right on the device.
Instead of sending it back to a cloud server.
Well, absolutely. And NVIDIA plans to expand this beyond China to partners in the US, Europe, and South Korea, establishing their architecture as the global standard.
That is a massive footprint.
It is, but you still have to write the software that tells that body how to move under the constraints of actual physics. Which brings us to Sam Altman's latest stealth startup investment.
The OpenAI CEO, what is he backing now?
He is backing a 9-month-old Hawthorne-based startup called Alfred. They are targeting a $40 million valuation, and they build specialized software to help engineers design the physical robots themselves.
Oh, interesting. So it's software for building hardware?
Yes. Founded by former Tesla and Meta employees. Translating software intelligence into physical hardware involves complex physics simulations and material stress testing. A mechanism that works in a digital simulation often fails catastrophically in real-world gravity.
The messy reality of physics.
For sure. Alfred builds the translation layer to bridge that gap. And physical AI startups raised an astonishing $5.3 billion in venture funding in April alone.
$5.3 billion in a single month.
Just in April. It's a gold rush toward real-world deployment. But, when these autonomous systems actually deploy into our cities, we get some very complicated results. Let's look at the new data from MIT analyzing Waymo's operations in California.
This is the robotaxi data.
It is. Across 86 million miles of operation, the standout metric is that Waymo's robotaxis traveled completely empty 44% of the time.
Wait, 44% of the time there was no one in the car?
No one. Just the vehicle repositioning across the city, returning to a depot, or circling while waiting for the next passenger.
Okay, I have to push back a bit on this being a totally new problem. Because if you look at traditional human-driven services like Uber and Lyft, that 44% empty rate essentially matches their historical deadhead rate.
It is comparable, definitely.
So it really forces you to ask, are robotaxis actually solving urban congestion like they promised? Or are we just, hard-coding the exact same inefficiencies of the gig economy into highly expensive autonomous metal?
It is a profound question. We are replacing human-driven empty cars with algorithm-driven empty cars.
Let's shift the focus away from multi-million-dollar robots navigating city streets and bring this back down to the desktop level, because this physical transition is showing up in the practical tools you can use right now on your laptop.
The software stack is definitely evolving.
We have a roundup of today's top trending AI productivity tools from the source material. First up is Mina Meeting Assistant. You can think of Mina as an active teammate. It doesn't just transcribe, it actually executes tasks during your calls.
Oh, that is incredibly useful.
It really is. If you agree to send a proposal, it drafts it and schedules the follow-up automatically. Second is Social Echo 2.0. This is a co-pilot specifically for marketing teams or agents juggling complex social media strategies.
So it manages the campaigns autonomously.
Basically acts as a dedicated project manager. Third is where the physical integration gets literal. The Dune keypad. It is a physical, context-aware Mac keypad that gives you instant, tactile access to Claude and community extensions.
I love the idea of a dedicated physical button for AI commands.
It bridges that digital-physical gap right on your desk.
Oh.
Fourth is DataBox MCP. This lets you seamlessly query and chat with your own business metrics inside ChatGPT or Claude.
Bypassing all those clunky dashboard screens.
Spot on. You just ask for your customer acquisition cost, and it pulls it immediately. Fifth is a tool called Folk. It turns casual text messages directly into actionable workflow items.
So you don't have to stop and log into a project management app.
You just text it on the go. Finally, we have TypeHead. This is a system-wide AI autocomplete for any app on a Mac, speeding up daily typing by predicting your sentences based on past communications.
If you look at this entire stack collectively, the real value here is that they eliminate context switching.
Which is a huge productivity killer.
It is the ultimate killer of modern workflow. By integrating AI directly into your texts, physical keypads, and native Mac environments, you maintain an unbroken flow state. You never have to switch windows.
It is seamless. And when you step back and look at all of these developments together, the sheer scale of AI's physical integration is undeniable.
It really is everywhere now.
We are watching it expand from standard software apps into massive SpaceX server farms, into robotaxis on our streets, and right down to tactile desktop keypads. The technology has permanently embedded itself into the physical world.
It is a massive structural shift.
And definitely something to mull over. We are optimizing our digital tools, but it begs the question, what happens to our physical spaces when they are increasingly designed to cater to the needs of these algorithms? If you found today's deep dive valuable and want to stay informed on these shifts, please follow and share the podcast.
Thank you so much for tuning in and exploring these concepts with us.
See you in the next episode.